Somewhere between the park play dates, the snack requests, and the loss of every clean cup in our house, leaking. Like, I was leaking time, energy, money, and I could not figure out where all these little things were leaking out, So I decided to do a mid-year mom audit, and this is what I did. So we're gonna break this into 4 categories to just make it simpler on our mom brains. We have the time and energy audit, we have the home systems audit, there's a money audit, as well as a mental load audit. And there's a little bonus one at the end if you're interested in that as well. Starting with the time and energy audit, I started to notice that it wasn't the time that I was lacking, but more the energy. Specifically, I don't think that it's moms are short on time. I really think we're all just short on uninterrupted brain space. Like, your days aren't necessarily full, but they are constantly being fragmented, like having those 3 tabs open that are constantly loading. I'm thinking about tomorrow, I'm thinking about dinner, I'm thinking about getting out of the house because we don't have enough stuff for dinner, and I'm also getting randomly asked for snacks and going out to the park. And there are a million different things that we have to manage in our day. And it's so easy for all the little fires to have to get put out. And at the end of the day, feel like we have been busy all day, running ourselves ragged, and then still look around and see that nothing has been done. So a solution for this that I started a while back and then I kind of slipped and I'm back into it again is I started combining all of the errands into 1 or 2 days a week. So specifically the groceries and getting the kids to the park, that's something that we want to do every week. So that is specifically on a certain day each week on Wednesdays. That's when the store circulars turn around. So that morning we go to the park while we're waiting for the store to open. The store opens, we go to the store and we do all of our groceries, and then we go home, eat lunch, take naps. Like, that is, we combining it into 1 day. Then if we have other errands to run, like returning a library book, going to a doctor's appointment, maybe picking up our prescriptions or dropping off something at my sister-in-law's house, that is going to all get combined into the second errand day if that's necessary. All the other days of the week, if it involves getting in the car, probably not going to do it. That helps me on my energy because I know that at the end of those errand days, I'm going to be totally wiped. So I'm already going to plan ahead in that meal prepping plan. Like, those days are going to be crock-pot days, or they're going to be leftover days. They're going to be very simple meals that don't require a ton of extra prep. On the subject of energy, something that I noticed whenever I was pregnant is I cannot have the energy to reset my house at the end of the day. Not gonna happen. By the time dinner is on the table, I'm out for the count. So what I started to do was changing the reset to the morning. So yes, this does mean that there are dirty dishes in the sink at the end of the night, but in the morning I'm well refreshed and I can go ahead and start on the dishes because I know that I have energy that day. So even with the millions of micro interruptions that happen while I'm doing my dishes, I know that they can still get done relatively within an hour or so. Actually, comment below because I'm gonna be scrolling through. I know I'm not the only one whose day feels like it's lost to 14 million micro interruptions. What is stealing your time the most when it comes to your day? For example, one random micro interruption I had was my child had taken the buttons off of one of the pillows, and we tried to do a system of the consequence matches like the punishment in a sense. So he had to sew the button back on, which required me to teach him how to thread a needle and tie the knot and sew a button, which was just a whole interruption in itself because he decided he wanted to do it right then and there. All right, we're moving on to number 2, the home systems audit. So if you feel like you have a system, look through it, see if your system has turned into like a stress system. So is it that the laundry is always a pile of doom and you're just tackling it every Saturday and that became your stress system? Or is it something where you're trying to do the laundry every day? Is laundry okay? Maybe it's dishes. Maybe it's picking up at the end of the day. So let's run through a few solutions to what might be some of your problems in the home systems audit. If you feel like you have 100 little mini micro piles piling up of just things that need a home, maybe you can establish a 1-drop location rule. So it's not that it's an unorganized chaos, but it's the fact that this is the thing that I don't know where the home is yet. I'm just going to put it at this specific spot, maybe in this basket, so it's contained on the counter, and now I know to look for a home later on. Maybe you can establish a one surface rule. So this one surface is always going to be cleaned no matter what. Whether it's the dining table, it gets cleaned after every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether it's the kitchen counter that gets cleaned after every meal. Whatever it is, make sure you have just one surface, not all the surfaces, that you can keep track of and make sure that it stays clean. So when you walk in through your door and your eyes land on your dining room table, for example, it's clean. And so you have that refreshing thing to come home to. And another idea could be something I like to call reset before you restart. So do a 15-minute reset of the kitchen before you start the lunch or start the dinner. Maybe do a 15-minute room pickup before you start bedtime routine, or even a 2-minute grab, reset, clutter drill before you jump into the car before going on your errands. Do you guys have any good home systems? Because some of y'all have been leaving some really good comments lately, and I am considering adding those into my home system layout. Next one is our money leak audit. Where are you leaking money? If you even have a budget. If you don't have a budget, maybe we could start working on a budget. But where is it that you are finding you pull out your credit card or you pull out the cash the most often? For me, it is usually when I'm so tired at the end of the day and I did not fully plan a meal, or maybe I did plan a meal, but it had so many steps, like make the bread or make whatever, that I didn't start the bread early enough because I either didn't look at it on time or I was just procrastinating. So where is it that you leak money the most? For us, it's that takeout. Also, when we go down that really cool aisle in Aldi where there's just a bunch of fun things, we do leak stuff there, especially if my kids are with me. Maybe it's finding its way out of your wallet and to Amazon or Target because you don't have the bandwidth to think, or you just want to scroll and you don't want to doom scroll, so you scroll shopping apps. When it starts to not feel like it's intentional spending and you're just trying to make life easier at the moment, maybe instead of thinking, oh, I need to budget better, ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to solve? What problem am I trying to solve in this moment by buying something? And then you're gonna solve that problem by not buying something. So for example, on those days where I'm too tired or I didn't look at the meal plan, I need to have some default meals that I can just pull out and get ready to go. This can look like creating a giant pot of chili or taco soup, and then after we finish eating the dinner, taking the leftovers and freezing them. So now all I have to do is just thaw it, which could take about 20 minutes. Another default meal could just be the fact that we have deli meat and cheese in the refrigerator, and we already have usually a loaf of sourdough ready to go. Do you guys have a default meal? I saw one default meal that looked really cool, shrimp pasta. So the shrimp is so easy to make that just quick, and you can just pull it from the freezer and the whole dinner is ready within 20 to 30 minutes. And on your rare occasions, what can be your default takeout? Instead of what do I want to eat? What am I hungry for? Just, we know that we can get this, it's this price every time, and we can find that in the budget if we need to. I call this solution to the money leak more of a default decision list. So you have your default dinners. Maybe you have your default grocery lists that you can just go ahead and order, and you know that it's going to have your basic essentials. Another solution would be what I like to call closed loop shopping. So if you're opening up Amazon or your Walmart app and you are looking specifically for a birthday gift for someone, knowing already what you're looking for, say, I'm gonna get some walkie-talkies for a 4-year-old, or I'm gonna get a Barbie doll for this person. That's a closed loop. But if you're opening it just to open it or just to get ideas, maybe not do the shopping part just yet. Maybe get your ideas somewhere else and then you can go shopping. You shouldn't be opening the app just because you're trying to figure out what to get for the week. You already know what you're gonna get for the week. I'm gonna get these groceries, or I need to get more laundry detergent. And that way you're not getting sucked into the feed that it gives you, because they give you a feed now and you kind of get sucked in to adding more things to your cart that you don't need to. I also have a 40-hour pause list. So if there's something that I am really thinking, oh, this is gonna solve the need for me, well, I need to wait for 48 hours before I hit purchase, because the odds are I might find an alternative with something that we already have, or we might be able to put something together, or a friend of mine has a solution because I've been brainstorming with them. But putting that 48-hour pause rule has saved us a lot of money when it comes to solving some sort of a solution. Do you guys remember when we weren't going to the store all the time and there wasn't a solution to everything at your local Walmart? Our parents really had to come up with some duct taped ideas, or we just went without and we dealt with it. Like, we can be inconvenienced at sometimes and we're not gonna die. And finally, I would suggest adding in a convenience envelope into your budget. This is the takeout fund, the Amazon lifesaver, we needed a problem solution right then fund. This is the kids activity because they're going wild type of fund. Because at that point, you're putting a cap on your spending. It is intentional because you know that you can't go past your cap, and you're going to try to do everything you can to stay under it and maybe even problem solve into not having to buy some things. Now let's move on to the mental load audit. If you're like me, you have an invisible list running all day. What do I need for dinner tonight? What do I need to thaw? What do I need to do next? Am I parenting right? What do I need to do to solve this growing development problem with my child? Lists, notes, shared reminders. If it lives in my brain, it's gonna start getting too heavy. So I need to have it in a place where I can see it, or I need to offload it off of my brain. So here are some solutions for my version of the mental load audit. A lot of moms are responsible for is basically your home inventory. So when things start to run out, like salt, shampoo, deodorant, it is everyone else's job to tell me we're running low on this, and if I notice we're running low on it, and at that point, instead of me thinking, oh, I need to get that at the next whatever, I physically will pull out my phone or go find my phone and add it to the Walmart grocery order. We do a lot of Walmart grocery orders, but also I know that when I meal plan later on the next week, I'm going to look at that Walmart grocery order. And maybe if I don't want to get that item there, I do know that I can add it to the grocery list for when I go to the store. I won't be sitting here trying to look through finding the right cat food. I'm just gonna type cat food, grab the first one, add it to cart, because I can organize that later. In the moment, I need to get it off my head and somewhere where it's going to live, and I'm going to remember to look at it. If you don't want to use your phone, maybe this is back to what we used to do as children and have it in a grocery list on the refrigerator where it's easily accessible and you can just add it to the list and you can get off your head. You can also have a meal pressure removal system. So this can be something like a 2-day meal rotation. Every week you have the same meals 2 days in a row. Let me try to explain this. So for example, every week your family loves to eat taco soup and they love to eat a certain type of salad. You have the soup on Mondays and the salad on Tuesdays, and like those are the hardest days in the week, and those are always going to be on those days. Maybe the next week you also have another 2 meals. If you ever went to public school, there was the same set of meals either every week or every 2 weeks, and it was just the same rotation, and they would cycle through and do the same rotation again. You can do that with your own meal system, especially in the summer when all your kids are doing sports or when you're outside all day. If that is something you need to take off your plate, come up with a week's worth of meals. Don't forget there will be leftovers, don't do too much, or 2 weeks worth of meals, and rotate them. Nothing is stopping you from that. Nothing's saying that we have to have a whole new list of meals every single week or every single month. Something I like to do is hold on to my meal list that I made, and then 3 weeks from now when I'm having trouble figuring out meals, I'm gonna go to that meal list that I already made and I can just copy and paste. The mental load we have is trying to figure out when we're gonna have enough time to do our hobbies or to do our cleaning of the house. So this is where you need to have anchor points. You're going to anchor the thing that you wanna get done every day with something that happens every day. So for example, if you want to stretch every morning, that gets anchored to when you're pouring your coffee, you're gonna go ahead and do a couple of stretches in the kitchen. That one's like not the best example. Okay, another anchor point that I use is when I'm doing YouTube or my own side hustle stuff, I reserve it specifically for nap time. This is why no children are running around screaming at the moment. I know that when nap time comes, I need to be ready. My camera needs to have a charged battery. I need to know what my script's gonna be. That way I can sit down and start filming, or I can sit down and start editing. And that is my anchor point of when I'm doing YouTube or when I'm doing my creative style. The anchor that we have is our cleaning anchor. This usually happens around 4 o'clock. It's when I start doing dinner. The baby just got put down for a nap. We're cleaning up the general area of all the toys that got thrown around, maybe the homeschool stuff. That's starting to get cleaned. The dinner's getting started. And at some point, that's get cleaned. Maybe I can do a little sweeping. When my husband walks in through the door, the house looks pretty nice. And we can just sit down and eat dinner, and it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of nice. So where is your biggest difficulty or your biggest frustration of your mental load? And we need to figure out how to take that off of your plate. There is something that is just driving you up a wall and your partner has offered to take it over. Gently remind them that they need to take over the entire domain of the task, not just a task. So for example, if they're going to take over laundry, they need to take over the entire domain of laundry, being they need to take over when the laundry detergent needs to get replaced. They need to take over when the colors get sorted, or they're going to also make sure that everything gets washed and dried and folded. Like, they're taking over the entire thing. If your partner wants to start helping with meals, then they need to take over a certain, like a whole day or a whole week of dinners, or maybe just one day of dinner. It is their responsibility to put in the items that they want to cook for dinner into the grocery order app, which, by the way, you can have both you and your partner's account. If it's under your email, y'all can both be logged into the same Walmart account onto both phones. You end up using Walmart pickup, he can add it. Did that make sense? I hope that helped. So those are the 4 main categories, and I wanted to do an extra little bonus category because we are coming up on summer, or if you're watching this, you might be in the middle of summer, but this is kind of your next season audit. What do you want your summer, or if you're watching this later, whatever the next season is, what do you want it to look like? Do you want it to look like spontaneous trips to the splash pad? Do you want it to look like a spontaneous trip to the grandparents' house? Do you want it to be evenings of popsicles on the back porch? If you don't start prepping for that, or at least finding a way to remove the friction of doing that, it's not going to happen. This dream of having a wonderful summer and making some beautiful memories for your kids, it needs to have a plan behind it. If you haven't already seen it, I did just create a video on all the things I keep in my car to help with mom life during the summer. Take a look at that video. I actually enjoyed making it. For us, we're gonna try going to the pool a lot. We're gonna try to go to the splash pad a lot. My children love water, so I'm making sure that these swimsuits are always going to be washed and back into the car. This is also a time for you to make your plans with your friends or your sisters and get those play dates on the books. This whole life of motherhood has made me realize that the goal isn't to fix everything. It's just to make life a little bit easier and remove some of the hard stuff. We only have one life, and if we are running ourselves ragged, trying to make the perfect system or trying to keep the perfect home, then we're gonna look back on it and realize that we did not make the memories that we wanted to. So let's make sure that this season is worth living and that we are flourishing in every moment of it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. YouTube thinks that you're going to like this video here, so take a look at that video if you want. Let me know what you want to talk about next. I'll see you guys in the next video.